My parents insisted I hand them the keys to my home. Your sister has nowhere to live after her divorce. She needs it more than you, my mother said. My father added, it's for the family. Don't be selfish. They even slid a sloppily drafted eviction notice across my table. But when my attorney mailed them a certified letter, their smug grins disappeared as they realized. Imagine pouring your entire soul into creating your dream home, your sanctuary, only for your own family to march in, with an eviction notice. Can you even believe that? Because I still struggle to process the sheer audacity, the gut-wrenching betrayal that completely shattered my world. My name is Kira, and after 5 brutal years of grinding through 60-hour work weeks as a tech consultant, I'd finally done it. I'd created my absolute dream home. Every single corner of it held a piece of me. The late afternoon sun was just pouring through my brand new bay windows, painting golden stripes across the reclaimed wood floors I'd spent 3 grueling weekends refinishing myself. From the vintage brass handles I'd painstakingly sourced from an antique shop to the hand-tiled kitchen backsplash, it was mine. Then, a sharp, jarring rap at the door absolutely shattered that peaceful moment. I opened it, and there they were, my entire family, crammed onto my front porch like some unwelcome army. My mother, Maria, had her lips pressed into that familiar thin line. My father, Charles, hovered awkwardly behind her, and my sister, Abigail, was dabbing at her mascara-streaked cheeks. Her 2 kids, Brianna and Bentley, fidgeted restlessly, looking bored. Without so much as an invitation, my mother just pushed past me into the foyer. Well, aren't you going to invite us in? She demanded, as if I was the rude one. The others followed like a wave breaking through a dam. I hadn't seen them in months, not since my housewarming party where my mother famously commented that my paint colors were a bit ambitious for someone like you. I offered automatically, I'll make tea, falling right back into my old role as the family peacekeeper. Don't bother, my mother snapped, already settling herself onto my carefully chosen cream sectional. This won't take long. Abigail let out a truly theatrical sob. Heath left me. He just left. Cleaned out our accounts and everything. I knew instantly that wasn't true. Heath was many things, but a thief wasn't one of them. Still, I started to say, I'm so sorry, but my mother cut in, her voice cold as ice. Your sister needs your house, Kira. I just blinked. What? She's homeless, my father added, as if that explained absolutely everything. And the kids need stability. But, this is my house, I said, the words sounding absurd, even to my own ears. I just finished renovating. My mother waved her hand dismissively. Oh, the renovations. Always with the renovations. Your sister has actual problems. Real ones. You can just rent somewhere else. You're single. You don't need all this space. Brianna, Abigail's daughter, tugged at my sleeve. Auntie Kira, Mommy says we're going to live in your pretty house. Nobody's living in my house, I said firmly, though my hands had started to shake. I can help Abigail look for apartments. Don't be selfish, my father interrupted, his voice taking on that disappointed tone I'd heard my entire life. This is family. Family helps family. I have helped. The words burst out before I could stop them. I've always helped. Who paid for Abigail's essential oils business last year? Who covered Mom's cruise when her credit card was maxed out? That was different, Abigail sniffled, suddenly less tearful, more indignant. Those were just loans. This is about my children. My mother stood up, straightening her designer blouse, the one I knew she couldn't afford. We knew you might be difficult about this, so we came prepared. My father reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded paper. He laid it on my dining table, the one I had restored myself over countless weekends. We've prepared an eviction notice, he said, not quite meeting my eyes. To make it official. You have 30 days. I picked up the paper with numb fingers. It was clearly printed from some shoddy template they'd found online, full of typos and missing crucial legal information. But the intent behind it, the sheer audacity of what they were trying to do, made my chest tighten with a suffocating anger. This isn't legal, I managed to say. You can't evict me from a house I own. Don't be dramatic, my mother sighed. We're not evicting you. We're just redistributing family resources to where they're needed most. Abigail has children. Yeah. Abigail chimed in, suddenly looking a lot less tearful. And your guest room is bigger than my old master bedroom. I stared at them, my mother's expectant face, my father's studied avoidance, Abigail's growing excitement as she pointed out to her kids where their toys could go. They actually believed they could just take my house. My sanctuary. Everything I'd worked for. You need to leave, I said quietly. Kira, my father started. No. My voice was stronger this time. Get out of my house. Well, my mother gathered her designer purse, clearly deciding on a retreat. I see you need time to process this. We'll give you a day to come to your senses. But remember, 30 days. She tapped the pathetic paper on the table. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. They filed out, Abigail pausing in the doorway. I was thinking of painting the living room blue, she chirped, as if I hadn't just ordered them to leave. This beige is so boring. I closed the door behind them and leaned against it, my legs barely holding me up. Through the window, I could see them getting into their car, already discussing my house as if it was theirs. The eviction notice sat on my table like a declaration of war. I stared at that eviction notice until the words blurred. My phone buzzed. 3 texts from Abigail about paint samples and whether I'd be leaving the curtains. I turned it face down and walked to my home office. The filing cabinet in the corner held more than just work contracts. I pulled out a thick manila folder, my hands steady now. Inside was every receipt, every bank transfer, every hastily scribbled IOU from the past decade. I'd kept them out of habit, that same attention to detail that made me good at my job. My friend Destiny's voice came through on the first ring. Girl, you sound terrible. What happened? I told her everything, my voice cracking only once. They did what? Destiny's outrage was comforting. Please tell me you're not actually considering it. Of course not. I laughed, a bitter sound. No, but Kira, remember last Christmas when Abigail borrowed your car and returned it with an empty tank and a dented fender? Or when your mom guilt-tripped you into paying for their vacation because your father worked so hard? I spread the papers across my desk. I have records of everything they borrowed. Never paid back a cent. How much? Destiny gasped. I did a quick calculation. Over $20,000. Jesus, Kira. I know. I picked up a note in Abigail's loopy handwriting. I owe you $3,000 for business startup. Thanks, sis. That was for her essential oils thing. She sold everything at a loss and blamed the market. And now they want your house, Destiny's voice hardened. Hell no. You need a lawyer. Now. They're family. Family doesn't try to steal your house. What's next? Your kidney. My phone buzzed again. A text from my mother. Abigail's crying because you're being so difficult. Think of the children. The children, I said to Destiny. They keep using Brianna and Bentley as leverage. You know what's best for those kids? Seeing their mother face consequences for once. Has anyone even verified Heath left her penniless? I hesitated. No, they just said, call Heath, Destiny cut in. I heard keys clicking on Destiny's end. He's still connected to my cousin on Facebook. Here we go. Recent post, finalizing divorce settlement. Trying to be fair despite everything. Doesn't sound like someone who cleaned out the accounts. Another buzz. My father. Your mother's very upset. You're tearing this family apart. I looked at the stack of IOUs. They really thought I'd cave. Because you always have, Destiny said gently. Remember when you got that bonus last year? First thing you did was pay off Abigail's credit card debt. She said she needed formula for Bentley. Bentley, who I saw drinking regular milk at your housewarming. He's for Kira. My doorbell rang. Through the security camera, I saw Abigail holding up paint swatches to my exterior walls. I'm not answering that, I stated. Good. Now, about that lawyer, Bennett, I said suddenly. Remember that law firm I helped last year, the cyber attack? The one where I pulled 3 all-nighters to save their entire system. Their senior partner, Bennett, he gave me his personal number. Said, if I ever needed anything, call him. Abigail was taking photos of my garden now, probably planning changes. My garden, where I'd spent countless weekends creating a butterfly sanctuary. They've always treated me like their personal ATM, I said, my voice hardening. But this, trying to take my home, acting like I owe it to them. So, what are you going to do about it? I picked up the pathetic excuse for an eviction notice, then looked at my folder of evidence. A decade of financial abuse documented in black and white. I'm going to show them exactly who they're dealing with. That's my girl. After hanging up, I sent a brief email to Bennett's office, attaching scans of the eviction notice and a few choice IOUs. His response came within minutes. In meetings all day, but this is outrageous. Call my cell at 5 p.m. sharp. We'll fix this. My phone buzzed again. A family group text from my mother, dinner tomorrow to discuss Kira's move-out timeline. 6 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. I didn't respond. Instead, I made coffee and started scanning every document, every message, every manipulative text. By the time 5 p.m. rolled around, I had a complete digital record of their exploitation. The eviction notice still sat on my table, a symbol of their ultimate entitlement. They thought it was their trump card. They had no idea it was about to become mine. My phone showed 4:59 p.m. I picked it up, Bennett's number ready. Time to show my family what happens when you push too far. Bennett's voice was exactly as I remembered, calm, precise, with an undercurrent of steel. Kira, I've been reviewing what you sent. Tell me everything. I laid it all out chronologically, starting with their ambush and ending with Abigail's impromptu exterior design consultation. Bennett listened without interrupting, though I heard his pen scratching notes. Let me be clear, he said when I finished. They presented you with a fake eviction notice for a property you own outright. Yes. They found some template online. And your sister is claiming her ex-husband left her destitute. That's what they say. Interesting. More scratching. Because I just had my assistant do some preliminary research. Your sister's ex-husband filed all his divorce paperwork properly. The settlement includes a substantial alimony payment and half their marital assets. I sat up straighter. So, she's not homeless. No, unless she's managed to burn through a considerable sum in record time. He paused. Now, about these loans. I have everything documented. Dates, amounts, their promises to repay, which they never did. Not a cent. And the total is $23,412, plus interest if we're counting that. Bennett let out a low whistle. We're definitely counting that. Kira, do you know why I took your call immediately? Because I helped with the cyber attack. Partially, but mainly because I remember how you handled that crisis. Methodical, thorough, kept perfect records. I see that wasn't a one-off trait. I glanced at my meticulously organized folder. I just like things documented. That attention to detail is about to pay off. Here's what we're going to do. For the next 20 minutes, Bennett outlined his strategy. With each point, I felt my spine straightening, my confidence growing. I'll have the first draft ready tomorrow, he said. But Kira, I need you to do something important tonight. What's that? Nothing. Don't respond to their messages. Don't attend their dinner. Don't engage at all. Can you do that? My phone buzzed with another text from my mother. Your silence is very immature. Yes, I said firmly. I can do that. Good, because tomorrow we're going to teach them about consequences. After hanging up, I ordered takeout and watched my phone light up with increasingly demanding messages. Abigail, I need your paint samples by tomorrow. Mother, this behavior is exactly why we worry about your judgment. Father, your mother can't sleep because of this. Around midnight, my Aunt Kennedy called. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was predictably guilt-laden. Kira, honey, everyone's so worried. Just come to dinner tomorrow and we can work this out like family. I deleted it. The next morning, Bennett's email arrived exactly at 9 a.m. The attached letter was a masterpiece of legal precision. It addressed my parents and Abigail by their full legal names. It referenced specific laws they'd violated. It detailed every loan with dates and amounts, including calculated interest. The final paragraph was particularly satisfying. Furthermore, my client demands immediate cessation of all harassment and trespassing attempts. Any future unauthorized visits to her property will result in immediate legal action. You have 10 business days to propose a reasonable repayment schedule for the outstanding debt of $23,412 plus applicable interest. Failure to respond will result in formal legal proceedings. I read it 3 times, my smile growing wider each time. One more thing, Bennett said when I called to approve it. I had my investigator do some digging. Want to know what your sister spent her divorce settlement on? Tell me. A 2-week spa retreat in Arizona. First-class flights. She got back 3 days before showing up at your door. I thought about her tears, her claims of destitution. Send the letter. Already done. Certified mail. Delivery confirmation required. They should receive it. He paused. Right about now, actually. I imagined their faces as they read it. My mother's righteous indignation crumbling. My father's false confidence evaporating. Abigail's paint swatches dropping from her manicured fingers. Bennett, I said. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is just the beginning. They're not going to take this well. I know. Are you ready for that? I looked around my beautiful home, my sanctuary that I'd built through years of hard work. Every inch of it earned, every detail chosen with care. Yes, I said. I'm ready. Good. Keep your phone on. The fireworks should start any minute now. As if on cue, my phone started buzzing. The war had begun. The first call came exactly 17 minutes after Bennett's letter would have arrived. My mother. I let it ring, then my father. Ignored Abigail. Straight to voicemail. They cycled through like this for an hour before my Aunt Kennedy's number appeared. Unlike the others, Kennedy had always been somewhat reasonable. I picked up. Hello. Her voice was hushed, conspiratorial. I'm at your parents' house. You need to know what's happening. I can imagine. No, you really can't. A door closed in the background. Your mother is absolutely apoplectic. I've never seen her like this. She's been pacing the living room for 30 minutes, waving that letter around like a weapon. Despite everything, I felt a flutter of satisfaction. What about Dad? He looks like he's seen a ghost. Keeps muttering about his retirement fund. A pause. Kira, the amount in that letter, is it accurate? Down to the last penny. I have records of everything. Your mother's claiming you made it all up. Of course. Of course she is. I opened my laptop where I'd organized all the evidence. Would she like to explain the cruise tickets I paid for, or the check I wrote for Dad's golf club membership? Kennedy was quiet for a moment. And Abigail just got back from a luxury spa retreat in Arizona. First class all the way. What? Kennedy's whisper turned sharp. But she told everyone Heath left her penniless. She lied, like she always does. Through the phone, I heard a crash, followed by my mother's voice. This is extortion. My own daughter. Hold on, Kennedy murmured. More background noise, then, your mother just threw her favorite vase at the wall. The one you bought her last Christmas. Fitting. Abigail's here now, too. She's, oh my. Kennedy's voice dropped even lower. She's having what I can only describe as a tantrum, screaming about her children's future. Your mother's encouraging it. And Dad's still doing his ghost impression. Oh, wait. He's finally speaking. He's asking your mother how they're going to pay it back. She's not taking that well at all. I heard my mother's distant shriek. Pay it back. Pay it back. She's our daughter. She owes us. Kira, Kennedy said, I should tell you, they're talking about calling their own lawyer. Good. They should. You're not worried? Bennett already checked. They can't afford any lawyer who could challenge this. More background chaos, then Kennedy's urgent whisper. Abigail's calling Heath. She's, oh dear. She's demanding more money from him to fight this injustice. He's laughing at her. I can hear him laughing through the phone. I couldn't help but smile. Heath had put up with Abigail's drama for years. He probably felt vindicated. Your mother's now saying she'll sell her jewelry collection, Kennedy reported. The one I helped her pick out. Sure, good idea, Kira. Kennedy hesitated. I know they've always favored Abigail. I know they've taken advantage, but this is nuclear. No, Aunt Kennedy. This is consequences. A door slammed in the background, followed by more shouting. Kennedy sighed. Abigail just announced she's going to drive to your house. Your mother's getting her car keys, too. Perfect. Bennett already filed a harassment warning with the police. If they show up, they'll be arrested for trespassing. You've really thought this through. I learned from the best. They taught me all about planning and manipulation. I just got better at it than they expected. Another crash. More screaming. Kennedy's voice turned urgent. I have to go. Your mother's talking about calling every relative in the family directory. Brace yourself. Thanks for the warning. After hanging up, I sent a quick text to Bennett. They received the letter. Reaction exactly as expected. Aunt Kennedy reports chaos. His response was immediate, good. Let them spiral. Every inappropriate reaction strengthens our position. My phone started buzzing again. Distant relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. Probably already getting my mother's version of events. I switched it to silent and made myself tea in my peaceful kitchen. A text from Destiny, just got a crazy call from your mom. Told her I've watched you bail them out for years and hung up. You okay? I looked out my window just in time to see my mother's car screech to a halt outside. Abigail's right behind it. They looked up at my house, faces twisted with rage. I calmly picked up my phone and dialed 911. Hello. Yes, I'd like to report trespassers at my property. There's already a harassment warning filed. Through the window, I watched my mother's face change as police sirens wailed in the distance. For the first time in my life, I saw real fear in her eyes. The tea in my hand was still hot, still perfect, just like my victory. The police were surprisingly understanding. They escorted my mother and Abigail off my property with a formal warning while I watched through my security cameras. The officer's body language said everything. They'd seen this type of family drama before. My phone buzzed with a text from the officer who'd taken my statement, warning officially logged. Call immediately if they return. Then came the emotional artillery. First, the voicemails. My mother's voice trembling with practiced devastation. How could you do this to your own mother after everything we've sacrificed for you? Abigail somehow crying and screaming simultaneously. My children will be traumatized. Is that what you want? To traumatize innocent children? My father attempting his stern authority voice, but sounding scared. This isn't how we raised you. Call off this lawyer nonsense immediately. Then the flying monkeys arrived. Aunt Cassandra called first. Kira, sweetie, this has all gone too far. Your mother is beside herself. Is she beside herself about the $23,000 she owes me? Money isn't everything. This is family. Funny how that argument only works in their favor. She gasped. You've changed. You've become cold. No, I've become clear-sighted. There's a difference. Next came the social media assault. Abigail posted a heavily filtered photo of herself with Brianna and Bentley, all wearing their most miserable expressions. The caption was a masterpiece of manipulation. Sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones you trusted most. My children and I are facing homelessness because of family betrayal. #prayer warriors needed. The comments flooded in. OMG girl, you're so strong. What kind of monster would do this to children? Family should come first. I screenshotted everything and sent it to Bennett. His response, perfect. Every post strengthens our harassment case. Do not respond. My mother tried a new approach, sending an email that was clearly meant to be forwarded to every relative. My dearest daughter, my heart breaks as I write this. Your father and I have always supported your independence, but this betrayal. We only wanted to help your sister in her time of need. Now you're demanding money we don't have, threatening us with lawyers. Where did we go wrong in raising you? What happened to the sweet little girl who used to bake cookies with me? I forwarded it to Destiny, who replied, pretty sure that sweet little girl was actually Abigail. You were the one they made do their taxes. The truth of that hit home. I'd never baked cookies with my mother. I'd been too busy helping my father with household accounts or covering Abigail's bounced checks. My phone lit up with a call from an unknown number. It was Heath, Abigail's ex-husband. Kira, finally got your number from my lawyer. Listen, Abigail's been calling me non-stop, demanding more money to fight your evil schemes. Thought you should know. She got over $100,000 in the settlement last month. Thanks, Heath. I had a feeling she wasn't exactly destitute. She blew through half of it at some spa resort. Now she's playing victim again. He paused. For what it's worth, I'm glad someone's finally standing up to them. After we hung up, I checked my email. 3 messages from my father, each with increasingly desperate subject lines. We need to talk, your mother can't sleep, our retirement fund. I opened the last one. Kira, the amount your lawyer is demanding would wipe out our savings. Please be reasonable. What about our retirement? What about your sister's children? Think about the family's future. I thought about my own future. The one they tried to steal. My house. My sanctuary. My financial security. The doorbell rang. Through the camera, I saw Aunt Kennedy holding a paper bag. I brought wine, she said when I opened the door. And information. Over glasses of Cabernet, she filled me in. Your mother's called every relative who might have money to lend them. No takers. Your father's looking into reverse mortgages. And Abigail. She took a long sip. Abigail's telling everyone she's going to sue you for emotional distress. Distress. Bennett will love that. Kira, Kennedy set down her glass. I owe you an apology. All these years I watched them take advantage of you. I never said anything. You're saying something now. She smiled sadly. They never thought you'd fight back. That was their biggest mistake. My phone buzzed again. Another tearful voicemail from my mother. I deleted it without listening. They still think they can break me, I said. Kennedy reached for the wine bottle. Then they clearly don't know you at all. As we poured second glasses, my security system pinged. Abigail was driving past again, slowly photographing my house. I picked up my phone to call the police again. The war of attrition was on, but this time I wasn't the one being worn down. Bennett's call came early Monday morning. They've hired a lawyer, if you can call him that. How bad? He sent me a rambling email about family obligations and moral duties. Clearly fresh out of law school. Want to hear the best part? Tell me. He's demanding we drop everything in exchange for, quote, a sincere apology and future considerations. I laughed. Future considerations. I've sent back a formal response. They have until Friday to present a reasonable repayment plan or we file suit. My doorbell rang. Through the camera, I saw Abigail standing there with Brianna and Bentley. Bennett, I have to go. Abigail's here with the kids. Record everything. I activated my phone's recording app and opened the door. Kids, Abigail announced dramatically. Say goodbye to Auntie Kira's house. The house she won't share with you, even though you're homeless. Brianna looked confused. But Mom, aren't we staying at Grandma's? Abigail's face tightened. Brianna, what did I tell you about speaking out of turn? Now cry for Auntie Kira. Show her how sad you are. That's enough. I kept my voice level. You're trespassing again. The police have already, the police. Abigail shrieked, pulling out her phone. Perfect. Film this, kids. Show everyone how mean Auntie Kira calls the police on children. I pressed my emergency contact. Officer Rivera answered immediately. Miss Watts, another incident. Using her children as props this time. Units are already nearby. Hold tight. Abigail was live streaming now, tears flowing perfectly. My heartless sister is threatening me with police. My babies are traumatized. Bentley tugged her sleeve. Mom, I need to pee. Not now. Mommy's making content. Sirens wailed in the distance. Abigail's face lit up with perverse excitement. Yes, everyone, watch. See how they persecute a single mother. 2 police cars pulled up. Officer Rivera stepped out, looking tired. Miss Abigail, we've discussed this. There's an active harassment warning. I'm just visiting family. With a live stream. He nodded at her phone. This is your final warning. Next time means arrests. But my children are being used as emotional weapons, he finished firmly. Don't make us call child services. That threat landed. Abigail's stream cut off instantly. Come on, kids. Your aunt clearly hates you. But Mom, Brianna protested. You said we were just making a video to get money from. After they left, Officer Rivera turned to me. We've documented everything. Your lawyer will want this footage. My phone buzzed. A text from my father, Your mother's in bed with anxiety. Are you happy now? I showed Officer Rivera. Add this to the harassment file. Already on it. By evening, Abigail's failed live stream had morphed into a heavily edited social media post. Police called on innocent children. Swipe to see my baby's tears. Hashtag toxic family, hashtag pray for us. Destiny called. Girl, your sister's gone full melodrama queen. She started a GoFundMe for what? Legal fees to fight family betrayal. She's asking for $50,000. I forwarded this to Bennett, who replied, perfect. Documenting attempted financial fraud. The next morning, my Aunt Cassandra tried a new angle. Your mother's talking about selling her wedding ring, the one your grandmother gave her. Is that what you want? What I want is the money they borrowed. Their family. They didn't think you'd actually expect it back. That's the problem. My security system pinged again. My mother's car driving past slowly, then my father's, then Abigail's. A parade of guilt and intimidation. Bennett called. Their lawyer just tried to negotiate. Offered $5,000 and, you'll love this, suggested you give Abigail the house as compensation for emotional damages. And you reminded him that harassment is a criminal offense. Precisely. He's now requesting a meeting. All parties present. When? Friday. My office. You ready? I looked at my phone. More texts, more voicemails, more flying monkeys deployed to wear me down. Then I looked around my beautiful home. Everything I'd worked for. More than ready. Good, because they're desperate now, and desperate people do desperate things. As if on cue, my mother's voice cut through the evening air. She was standing on the sidewalk with a megaphone. Kira, come out and face your family. Stop hiding behind lawyers. I called Officer Rivera again, watching through my security cameras as my mother continued her performance for the gathering neighbors. Friday couldn't come soon enough. Bennett's conference room felt like a courtroom. My parents and Abigail sat across the massive oak table, their budget lawyer fidgeting with his tie. They'd brought the kids again, a move Bennett had predicted and prepared for. First, Bennett said, the children need to wait outside with my assistant. This isn't appropriate for them. They're part of this. Abigail protested. They're victims. They're props, Bennett corrected. And if you continue using them this way, I'll be obligated to report it. After some theatrical resistance, Brianna and Bentley were led out to the children's area Bennett had set up. Their relief was visible. Now, Bennett began, spreading documents across the table. Let's discuss the harassment first. Harassment? My mother's voice hit that familiar high pitch. We're the ones being harassed with these ridiculous demands. Bennett clicked a remote. The wall screen lit up with a compilation, Abigail's live stream. My mother with the megaphone. Their cars circling my house. The social media posts. The GoFundMe page. Mr. Jenkins, Bennett addressed their lawyer. I assume you've advised your clients about the legal implications of these actions. The young lawyer tugged his tie again. We maintain these were attempts at family reconciliation. Interesting interpretation. Bennett played the clip of Abigail coaching her children to cry on command. My father shifted uncomfortably. We were desperate. You're trying to bankrupt us. No, I said, speaking for the first time. We're asking you to repay what you borrowed. Borrowed? My mother laughed sharply. Family helps family. We never thought you'd be so petty as to keep track. Actually, Bennett pressed another button. Images filled the screen, bank transfers, IOUs, emails promising repayment. Your daughter, Bennett continued, has documented everything. Every loan, every promise, every excuse. Their lawyer leaned forward, finally looking worried. Perhaps we could discuss a reasonable settlement. The time for negotiation was before the harassment campaign, Bennett cut in. Now, here are your options. He slid documents across the table. Option 1, you sign this agreement to repay the full amount with interest on a structured payment plan. You also sign this restraining order agreeing to cease all contact unless initiated by Kira. Or, we go to court, where I'll present everything. The loans, the harassment, the attempted emotional exploitation of minors, the fraudulent GoFundMe, the false claims about Mr. Heath's settlement. Shall I continue? Abigail burst into tears. Real ones this time. This isn't fair. I'm your sister. Was I your sister when you tried to steal my house? We weren't stealing, my mother protested. We were redistributing. Maria, their lawyer interrupted, looking pained. Please stop talking. Bennett pushed the agreements closer. You have 10 minutes to decide. Court will be public record, by the way. Every loan, every lie, every manipulation, all available for everyone to see. My father reached for the papers. My mother slapped his hand away. Charles, don't you dare. She's bluffing. She wouldn't really. I have nothing to lose, I said quietly. Do you? The room fell silent. 10 minutes stretched like taffy. Finally, their lawyer whispered something to them. My father picked up a pen with trembling fingers. This will ruin us, my mother said, her voice breaking. Trying to steal my house would have ruined me. One by one, they signed. My mother's signature was angry and sharp. Excellent, Bennett said. Now about the restraining order. You're no longer my daughter. My mother spat, signing that document too. I hope you're happy in your precious house, all alone. I'd rather be alone than exploited. Abigail stood up, mascara running. My children will never forgive you. Your children, I replied, are outside playing happily with age-appropriate toys instead of being used as emotional weapons. Maybe think about that. They filed out, defeated and bitter. Through the conference room window, I watched Brianna and Bentley reluctantly leave their games to join their mother. Their genuine smiles faded on cue. Well, Bennett said, gathering the signed documents, that went exactly as expected. Will they actually pay? They don't have a choice. The payments will be automatically deducted. If they default, we can place liens on their assets. He paused. Are you okay? I watched my family disappear into the elevator. My mother's rigid back. My father's slumped shoulders. Abigail's dramatic sniffles. I feel. I searched for the word. Free. Freedom, Bennett said, often comes at a price. They set the price, I replied. I just finally sent them the bill. Outside, the summer sun was bright and clean. I walked to my car alone. But for the first time in my life, alone felt like a choice rather than a punishment. The first automatic payment hit my account on schedule. The second, too. By the third, my mother had cancelled her country club membership, and my father had taken a part-time job at a hardware store. Destiny brought wine to celebrate. Have you seen Abigail's latest posts? I'm blocked. She's selling her designer bags. Claims she's embracing minimalism. Destiny scrolled through her phone. Oh, and she's working at that boutique in the mall, the one she used to say was beneath her. My doorbell rang. Through the camera, I saw Aunt Kennedy with a small package. These arrived at my house, she said, handing me a bundle of letters. They're trying to get around the restraining order. I recognized my mother's handwriting, my father's, Abigail's. Have you read them? Didn't need to. Maria called to make sure I knew what they said. More guilt, more accusations. She's telling everyone you've destroyed the family. And what do you tell her? That she destroyed it herself long before you fought back. My phone buzzed. A text from Officer Rivera. Thought you should know your sister's been warned about driving past your house again. They're still trying, I told Kennedy. Of course they are. But look at you, renovating your garden, starting that coding program for girls. Living your life. That's what really drives them crazy. The payments are killing them, I said. Dad asked his sister, Cassandra, for a loan. She refused. Good. Let them learn about consequences. A car slowed outside. Abigail again, right on schedule. But this time, Brianna was in the passenger seat, and she waved at me before her mother yanked her arm down. The kids miss you, Kennedy said softly. I miss them, too, but they're better off without the drama. My security system pinged a notification from the front door camera. Someone had left flowers. Simple wildflowers. No card. Wasn't me, Kennedy said, but she was smiling. That evening, I taught my coding class. 20 girls eager to learn. No hidden agendas or emotional manipulation. One of them, Sophie, reminded me of myself at that age. Quiet, detail-oriented, determined. My mom says girls aren't good at computers, she told me after class. My mom used to say similar things, I replied. Want to know a secret? Moms aren't always right. At home, I found another email from Bennett. Your father called my office, asked if we could reduce the payments. I reminded him about the court alternative. He hung up. I clicked through my security cameras out of habit. No family members circling today. The street was quiet, my garden peaceful in the evening light. The butterfly bushes I'd planted were finally blooming. My phone lit up. A text from Heath, heads up. Abigail's telling everyone she's writing a book about toxic family betrayal. Thought you'd want to know. I forwarded it to Bennett, who replied instantly, let her try. Discovery would be fascinating. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Destiny with takeout. Thought you might want company. Kennedy's coming too. We sat in my kitchen. My kitchen, in my house, that nobody could take from me. Destiny raised her glass. To consequences. To boundaries, Kennedy added. To peace, I said. Later, after they'd left, I found a small package on my porch. Inside was a familiar teacup, one I'd admired in Kennedy's house years ago. The note read, for new memories. Some family we're born with, some we choose. Love, Kennedy. I placed it carefully in my cabinet next to the coffee mug Sophie had given me, decorated with badly drawn computer symbols. My phone buzzed one last time. Officer Rivera, your sister's car just left the area. Didn't stop this time. Progress, maybe. Or maybe they were just tired. Either way, I didn't need to know. Their lives weren't my responsibility anymore. I made tea in my new cup and sat in my garden. A butterfly landed on the flowers I had planted, its wings opening and closing slowly, at peace in its chosen spot. Inside, my house was quiet. Not the suffocating quiet of loneliness, but the peaceful quiet of sanctuary. Every room held traces of my new life. Student projects from my coding class, plants from Destiny, Kennedy's little gifts, photos of genuine smiles and real friendships. The automatic porch light clicked on, illuminating a small section of garden. In its glow, more butterflies gathered, drawn to the flowers I'd chosen, the space I'd created. My phone stayed silent. No drama, no demands, no guilt. Just peace. And in the end, that was the sweetest revenge of all. What would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with family like this? I really want to hear your thoughts in the comments below.